To the Griffin Grossmont College Radio, El Cajon, California.
It's big, it's beautiful, and you're gonna love it.
Welcome to Breakfast of Imbeciles, the thinking man's analysis of giant hamster balls, lunch lady larceny, ham, and all the other hard-hitting stories cable news doesn't want you to hear.
No, it's not.
It's different. It's unusual.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Breakfast of Imbeciles. Good morning, everybody. I am DJ Lunchbox here on Griffin Radio. This is Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. Well, maybe not every Tuesday, because the semester is drawing to a close, if you can believe that already. I think we are in week 14 or 15. I should probably figure that out. Yeah. So, yeah, we got a lot going on here. Don't forget you can check us out on our Facebook account at Griffin Radio 119. Our Instagram account is, of course, Griffin Radio SD. And don't forget you can listen to us on the TuneIn app for your Android or iPhone under the Griffin Radio channel. And you can also hear us at grossmont.edu/Griffin Radio. And there's a little flash player right there in the middle of the page. Drop me an email here at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com with any of your questions, comments, or concerns. And I'd be more than happy to peruse them. And feel free to contribute any news stories you might want to hear on the air, because I would love to bring anything you guys find interesting, because Lord knows, I don't know if anybody finds this interesting as it is now. Let's see. The views, comments, and opinions expressed on the show are those of the individuals and not necessarily shared by Griffin Radio, the Media Communications Department, Grossmont College, or the Grossmont Cuyamaca Community College District. This podcast is copywritten by Griffin Radio and Grossmont College 2018. Thank you very much. So I figured we'd get a couple announcements out of the way, since I didn't get much of a chance to do that on Tuesday. As you guys may be aware, Griffin Radio is a proud part of the Grossmont College community. We're always looking for news and information that's important to our fellow students and faculty. So if you have any news or announcements you'd like to get out there, bring any campus-approved flyers or bulletins to Griffin Radio in Building 20, Room 205, 2025. And you can email our promotions manager as well at latanya.ramos77@gmail.com. LATANYA.Ramos, RAMOS, 77@gmail.com, and we'd be more than happy to get your information out on the air where all of our listeners can hear it. The Grossmont College Jazz Studies presents the Danny Green Trio for a one-night-only musical extravaganza, which is actually tonight. The Danny Green Trio is one night only here, 7:30 p.m., it is actually right here on campus in Building 26, Room 220, 7:30. Admission is $10 for the general public, $8 for seniors and faculty, or $5 for students. Don't miss it. The Grossmont and Cuyamaca College Concert Bands 2018 presents the Winter Concert under the direction of conductors Russ Sperling and James Sepulvado? I'm so sorry, James. James S. It's under the conduction tonight of Russ Sperling and James S. The annual winter concert is December 5th at 7:30 p.m. for one night only over at Cuyamaca College. That is, again, on Wednesday, December 5th. Again, admission is $10 for the general public, $8 for seniors and faculty, and $5 for students. Go get your Mary on. Looks like the show we've been kind of pimping for a couple of weeks now has actually begun tonight. Grossmont College Theater Arts Department presenting She Kills Monsters by Qui Wen and directed by Jason Heil is beginning tonight, November 27th, and runs until December 8th next week. Shows on Thursdays and Fridays are at 7:30 p.m., and shows on Saturday will be at 2 and 7:30 p.m., so 2 shows on Saturdays. For tickets, you can call 619-644-7234 or visit grossmont.edu.com/theater brochure. And theater is spelled with the classical R-E spelling. So it's grossmont.edu.com/theater, THEATRE, brochure. Grossmont College Stagehouse Theater is here on campus at 8800 Grossmont College Drive. So if you can see the campus, you've just plain missed the exit. Make a U-turn at your nearest legal place of egress off the freeway and try it again and come back and see the stellar show. We've got a couple more announcements, but I think this one is probably a little bit more germane considering the semester is drawing to a close. Grossmont Mental Health Counseling is hosting a mindfulness and meditation group designed to help cultivate an open and inclusive space for mindfulness. It's designed around a variety of mindfulness activities and creative expression. Come to Building 60, Room 206 every Thursday, which would be today, from noon to 1 during the fall semester, and this group is open to all students of Grossmont College. If you have any questions or would like to speak to a mental health counselor, they are also located nearby in Building 60 at Room 130, so just on the first floor. So with the semester drawing to a close, projects being due, finals coming up, it's becoming more and more of a precious commodity to have a little bit of free time to yourself. So I highly encourage all of you to go out and check the mindfulness group they have there over in the Griffin Center. So, some of you may be aware that it's doing that rain thing here in San Diego that we always hear about happening in other parts of the world, so it's so exotic. Don't panic. I'm told this whole water from above thing is normal in other places, so we're just going to ask that you please slow down on the roads a little bit, put your phone down, at least wait until you're at a red light. You're still not supposed to have your phone out, but we'll overlook that for this time. I think today especially, and I speak for everybody out there who is being tailgated at this moment on the wet roads, get off my jock. Just back up. Go just 10 feet, 12 feet, 20 feet back, just get back. Stop riding me. If I can't see your headlights, you're too close and you're really stressing me out. So I think I speak for all of us there. I would just like to say to everybody, and nobody is more surprised than me in this, that today is our 25th show. Today is our silver anniversary. It's absolutely fantastic. We've been here this whole time, 25 episodes, and we haven't yet been asked to leave the building. Nobody is more surprised than me. There's frankly nobody here at this time of the morning who would be here to kick me out or keep me out, but just the fact that they haven't called somebody specially to prevent me from access to the building really speaks volumes that nobody knows I'm here actually doing any work. Next week, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but we are going to have a guest on Tuesday. So December 4th here, Breakfast of Imbeciles at 9 a.m., we are going to have an actual honest-to-goodness guest. And I'm not talking about Juliet or Diane from the Student Health Center. They're lovely, but I don't know that I would really want to hear much what they've got going on over there in the health center. No. We have an actual celebrity who's going to be setting their tuchus right there in that chair across from me and letting me do whatever it is that we do here to them. And in case that's not enough for you, and honestly, why wouldn't it be? Let me give you 4 tantalizing words to try to get your interest to be over here and listen to us next week. Chubby Bunny, Celebrity Edition. Oh, yes. We have an actual celebrity coming in, and I'm going to subject them to idiocy once again, and oh man, I gotta go buy some fresh marshmallows, and I am so looking forward to it. So I do want to say also that I feel like that you and I have grown close over the last 14 weeks. Am I wrong in that? Is it just me? Okay. So I feel safe in saying that I think I could get a little weight off my chest, and just between you and me, get a confession going here. I'm not a great student. I think anybody could attest to that. I don't apply my scholarly zeal equally between my different classes, and I don't think that's probably much of a surprise. I've got 4 classes this semester, and I'm not entirely sure what 3 of them are actually called. In that spirit, I had a term paper due in one of those classes this last Tuesday, 2 days ago. We had plenty of time to work on the paper, and it was mentioned many times in the class over and over again. Topics, due dates, due date mentioned fairly often, a lot of topics given. I didn't even remember the paper was actually coming due until Monday night. So I started it Tuesday afternoon after I got home from my classes. I hadn't even picked a topic yet. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that was a tap dance if you've ever seen one. I can't believe I pulled that paper out from between my cheeks, and I can't say proudly, but I definitely physically sent it off. And those nights at home are never fun, you know? I'm sitting there, I'm at my computer, and my son in stars comes home and is like, "Honey, what do you want for dinner?" And I'm like, "Can't talk! Busy writing!" Man, the semester's going fast. I thought I had weeks to not think about these kinds of papers and projects. And zoom, it's almost done already. Can't believe how quickly it's gone. Next semester will be my C semester in the radio class here, which, again, is not a grading classification. It's just how many times I've been here, how long I've stuck it out, how long they've allowed me to come back to stick it out. So we'll be back here in the fall. We've got a couple more shows here on Breakfast of Imbeciles, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Oh, my dear sweet Jesus. Oh, my God, we've got a scruffy sighting in here. Hang on. You caught me completely by surprise. I don't know what to do here. I got a button to press, and I'm not arranged. Where is it? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
hello.
B. Millie has dragged his butt in here to join me.
Hello.
Good God. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay. I've got my stuff together, so I should be here for the remainder of the semester.
That is awesome. I was just telling our listener that we have a guest on Tuesday. I don't even know if we have a listener because my mom's on vacation right now.
Oh,
She's
yeah?
in Malaysia.
Oh, wow.
To get away almost as far as possible. So yeah, that's we have a guest coming on Tuesday, like an actual guest.
Oh, really?
And in case that wasn't enough for you, Chubby Bunnies.
Oh, how amazing.
Celebrity edition.
Wow.
And I'm not using that term loosely either.
Really?
Oh yeah. So if you can be here, I suggest you will. I know LaTanya's probably going to be here, and I know we're going to have our guest here, so we might be a little short on the mics, but absolutely feel free to be here because the more we can have, we'll swing the mics around, we'll do the marshmallow thing.
No worries. I'm into it. I'm down for it.
So I am quivering. I'm quivering over here, just waiting for. I have so much to go home and plan for.
Really?
I have
I'm
sound
excited.
files to pull. I've got music I wanted to have playing while we're doing the Chubby Bunny thing that might present a choking hazard, but I still want to do anyway.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
All right. I think we are going to take a quick break here just to kind of get ourselves reset. Cool. And then we'll come back and we'll do the news. So don't forget, guys, you can check us out on Facebook at Griffin Radio 119. Instagram is Griffin Radio SD. And, of course, you can always hear us on the TuneIn app under the Griffin Radio channel. I'm DJ Lunchbox here with
DJ B. Millie, that's me.
And we'll be right back here, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to Breakfast of Imbeciles here on Griffin Radio every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. We're missing Threads this morning, who's doing a production project at the moment, but said she would join us when she got a chance. But it's sad that she's not here clicking her needles together, getting her knitting done. Were you here for that discussion?
No.
This music makes her want to knit.
Oh, yes, I was.
Every morning she's in here like, click, click.
Click, click.
Oh, yeah. She was talking about her needles flying one day, and we were like, I don't know, that doesn't sound very...
Well, let's use another word.
That sounds kind of like an after-school special. So, yeah. So she is crazy busy right now, so she'll be joining us later when she gets a chance.
Oh, cool.
So we'll
love it.
We'll look forward to that. She's actually... I've really been enjoying having her on the show.
Yeah.
Because she, like some of the other people that we have that come in, has really kind of come out of her shell. She's really... She's having fun with this, you know,
LaTanya.
and I like that.
I love LaTanya so much. She's amazing.
Awesome. I love that girl. So I figure we can go straight into the news here.
Fun. I haven't done this in so long.
I know.
Ready.
It's been a while. Where is my transition?
Ready.
I don't think I have my transition music here. Oh well, screw it.
We can do like Wayne's World.
Hard news. Okay, no, this is actually a follow-up from a couple of weeks ago. I don't think you were here for this one. But it's the end result of a story we reported on a couple of weeks ago here. The man known as the Dine and Dash Dater pleaded no contest Tuesday to misdemeanor. You were here for that, okay?
I was here. Is this the guy that like went on Bumble or Tinder dates and and
then he would just
went
run
to
out the bathroom
restaurant?
window?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I was.
He pleaded no contest on Tuesday to misdemeanor charges for eating at 3 Pasadena restaurants, receiving service at a Pasadena hair salon, and then leaving before paying, according to the L.A. District Attorney's Office. After taking a plea deal from prosecutors, Paul Gonzalez was immediately sentenced to 120 days in county jail and 3 years of summary probation. Gonzalez was also ordered to pay restitution to the businesses named in the complaint: Smitty's Grill, Mercado, Buca de Beppo, and Hothead Salon.
Yeah, you don't steal from Buga de Beppo.
No.
That's just cruel.
That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, you just ask for it.
He'd originally faced more than 10 felony counts ranging from extortion to grand theft, but on September 19th, the Superior Court Judge Daryl Mavis decided to drop the felony charges, which allowed him to be tried for several misdemeanor counts. Now, this guy's
Felonies?
obviously... Yes. Now, if I remember right, he was on the hook, I think, for like 20 grand at the time.
Yeah, and wasn't he on the hook for like 5 years in prison too or something?
Yes, he was looking at a huge legal problem.
That is insane.
Now, while I completely do not contend at all that this man is a scumbag, that was extreme. That was way more than the punishment for the crime.
I completely agree. Like, 5 years is what you're going to give this guy for stealing some food and making some girls less happy than they were.
Now, I mean, you can't even say he was stealing from the dates, because did they agree beforehand he was going to be the one to pay? Did they have some sort of contract? I mean, the only one I'm aware that he actually stole from was the salon, because he left in the middle of them doing work, so he owed them something for that. But, if you go on a date, it's not an assumption that you're going to pay for everything. Yeah. So obviously, he's a scumbag, but still.
That's a whole other topic about our for-profit prison system or different whatever. So that's crazy still.
So yeah, I'm kind of happy. I can't say happy. I should say I'm sort of gratified with the way it came out.
More relieved
sense.
in our law system.
Yeah, exactly. The original felony charges stem from accusations he went on dates in April with women where he would order food and drinks, consume the meals, then take off without paying. So, I mean, you don't ever decide who's paying until the meal's over. That's just kind of the... During the preliminary hearing in September, 7 of the women named as victims in the felony charges testified, saying they were embarrassed. I mean, you can't really have felony embarrassment. I'm sorry. I don't think
it's very true.
I don't think that's a thing.
It is very true, though. You can't really just... I want him to go to prison. He embarrassed me in front of people that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to embarrass him, since this guy sounds like he thinks he's kind of a playa, put him in the orange jumpsuit and have him picking up trash on the 405 for a while. That'll embarrass him.
Yeah,
I think that's a little more
lots
of
of community service hours.
Yeah. Residents returning to their home near the 1700 block of Bridal Oaks Court on Saturday, November 10th, saw a man running away from the building with some of their clothes.
I'm wearing her clothes, her silk pantyhose, walking around in women's underwear.
Oh, that's amazing.
According to a news release from the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, it said a neighbor's security camera captured footage of a Ford Escape fleeing the area. So let me remind you, this was happening during the fires up there in L.A. This was just like 3 weeks ago. Staff from the Old Meadows Park reported several articles of women's clothing being found in a public restroom, and according to authorities in November, employees there reviewed surveillance footage and saw a man who had been walking in and out of the bathroom wearing women's lingerie and an ankle monitor.
What?
That's a hot look, by the way. That's real hot.
Yeah. You can't get better than that.
No, I'm hot as a furnace over here.
Sweating bullets.
I hear Donna Karen's including that in her spring lineup. Some bejeweled ankle monitors. In the video, he's later seen driving away in an SUV similar to the one that had fled the burglary victims' homes. Do these people not know what an ankle monitor does?
I mean, or maybe they just think, it has to have run out of battery by now.
But there's lights on them. They flash, and you're required to plug them in periodically, as I understand it, to charge them or whatever you're supposed to do to them. And we just did a story on Tuesday, 2 days ago, about another guy who was wearing an ankle monitor and robbed a house, and the police were watching it ping 7 times in the house. So, anyway, detectives working with the California State Parole agents identified Jonah Bergman, 25, of Northridge, who is currently registered as a parolee and was previously convicted of residential burglary, according to the department's release. It said he was arrested near a relative's home in Thousand Oaks on Saturday, November 17th, on suspicion of burglary and engaging in lewd conduct, and booked into the Ventura County Main Jail. A search of his residence in Northridge uncovered even more articles of women's clothing, said officials.
Like, I've never understood the mentality of, like, okay, for some people, when they go into the prison system or, like, any sort of law enforcement and they get out, it's the only way they can make a living because they've got stuff that they're dealing with. But this guy, like... you obviously did something wrong to get an ankle brace on you, and your first instinct is to steal from a house, but not steal, like, for money or survival purposes, just to be a creep and steal women's underwear.
Yeah.
Like, nothing more. You've already done it. Like, you're literally just making it worse for absolutely no payoff.
Well, and as far as I know, I think people like this are probably, it's only half the women's clothing. Half of it is that it belongs to a specific person.
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
so they're kind of like, oh, I'm close to this person.
Yeah, you are correct.
Because otherwise, he could just go to Amazon and order a gross of pantyhose, and nobody would care at all.
That's true.
But this guy chose to break into these people's houses and steal their lingerie. So it's a collector. It's a weird, kind of horny hoarder. You
make
there.
A very good point.
That's just.
It is like I'm uncomfortable even like going to my neighbors and like knocking on their door for some sugar, let alone well,
that's just the day and age we live in, where people just don't want to interact with anybody. But I get you there, and I one of my neighbors, I wouldn't want to borrow sugar from them because God knows what might be in it. If you know what I mean. You know what? I am going to skip ahead because I want to do this story.
Oh, is there a really fun one?
Well, there's a really good one here with you, and I have a visual aid, because it's radio, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, but as long as the audience can see it.
Well, they'll understand what we're talking about, but I just want to make sure you can see what we're talking about.
Okay.
Because it's sort of unmistakable.
I'm down.
Jen, a mom from New Jersey, decided to recreate a sweet family tradition of baking cookies shaped like numbers and using shaped cookie cutters for birthdays. As they were cooling, her husband JT walked into the kitchen and took a long, hard look at the cookies.
I can. That's a good song too.
It is a good song. The two had been planning a party and wanted to bake cookies shaped like the number 1 to put put in people's goodie bags. I've telegraphed it that well, huh? Jen figured she could bake them on Sunday, freeze them, and then they'd be good as new for the day of the party. She got to work baking up her 1 cookies and then iced them. Her husband JT told HuffPost they looked like something else, but Jen didn't see it. She gave me a defiant, "No, they look like 1s." But JT disagreed with his wife and found the resemblance to something else completely different than a number so amusing he decided to snap a photo of the cookies and post them on Twitter. Now, here is the picture. Here is the picture of the cookies.
Oh, that is uncanny.
Yeah, the resemblance is right there.
Why? It is kind of like it makes it worse that there's like a shine coming off of them.
That is Freudian as hell.
I mean, my goodness.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, and sometimes a cookie is a schlong. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
That is very true. I mean, if you came up to me and said these are number 1 cookies, I would say, okay, I get it. But like, my first instinct
Your first instinct.
This is a phallic cookie.
It is a phallus in profile, ladies and gentlemen. A happy
She
phallus.
made so many of them. How do you get this far in the cookie making process?
That is a battalion of dorks. Well, now, okay, when the cookie cutter looked like a 1, but they spread in the oven.
Yeah, they rise.
So the little cross piece on the 1 swelled into something else.
That is amazing.
And
but she got through, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 trays.
Several dozen cookies.
Several dozen.
And you got to think, she had her face up close to that while she was icing those things.
Oh, she put icing on them?
Those are iced. That's why they're shiny. She iced them.
How do you... Like, you don't even have to be disturbed or Freudian to look at that and be... That is what that is.
Well... The post that her husband put up of the pictures went viral with 35,000 likes and 12,000 retweets.
Oh my goodness.
Many people agreed with the husband, saying, "Yeah, that's what it is." But the husband says that his wife is a very sweet and innocent person who just shakes her head and says people are going to see what they want to see.
No.
Which is people are going to see exactly what those cookies are shaped like.
I mean, yes.
Which are wieners. Come on, let's just put it out there for those who are still not cottoning on here.
If you haven't picked it up, they are shaped like wieners.
Now,
that's crazy.
I highly encourage those of you who are not working, because it's an SFW here, go Google Penny Arcade Snickerdoodles. I'm just going to say Snickerdoodles because I don't think I can say the other word. but it rhymes with snick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So go Google Penny Arcade Snickerdoodles. And for a number of years, I think 5 years ago, they stopped doing it. They had a cookie contest. I'll show you later. Remind me when we take a break.
I think I'm getting what this contest is about.
It was hysterical.
People are ridiculous. People are like, the things that they do can just be absurd.
Yes, I think we have come to realize that
especially when it comes to food. Like, have you heard, this might actually be a story that like can be a news-ish story that's kind of ridiculous but kind of funny. Have you heard about, I think it's the SCSU or UCSD, the Lettuce Club? Have you heard of this?
You told us about that, yes, where it was whoever eats the head of lettuce
It's-
fastest gets to be the president.
They have one meeting every year, and 30 people show up, and the president has to organize where they meet up, and they have a head of lettuce for every member, and whoever eats it fastest is just the head member of the club, and they have to do the next meeting the next year. It's literally just 30 people getting together to see who can eat a head of lettuce the fastest.
That's just a great way to get your roughage.
It is amazing. It is amazing. Like, how do people think of that? That is the most absurdly creative thing if you ever have.
It really is.
Like, it's absurdly creative. Like, and then whoever eats it the fastest is just the club head, and they have to organize the next meeting.
And they crown him or her king or queen, and then they just.
That is amazing.
I find that
That is amazing. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I'm just shaking my head here. By the way, did I mention that this is our 25th show this semester?
Oh, wow.
This is our silver anniversary. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
So we stuck it out this far, if you can believe. Can you imagine? I have to go home and count how many stories that we've been able to put out over the last few weeks, and we're going to have at least one more show on Tuesday, because I know the semester's coming to a close. So I think we'll be here Thursday. I don't know when the station closes.
I believe the station usually stops broadcasting the week of finals,
which would be week after.
Week after next. So okay. I believe you have both Tuesday and Thursday.
Excellent, because I pulled a crap ton of stories last night, so I didn't have to spend more time doing more, because I need the time.
Man. You got to make your 100th story like a doozy.
I think we probably passed our 100 a while ago, but I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll shoot for 150th or whatever we're up to this point. Oh, man. Elena Savell had 2 house guests who she became tired of due to their loud drunken behavior, so she grabbed her gun and began to fire off a couple of warning shots, but instead shot one of her guests in the leg.
Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Why? Okay, before we continue, I'm not for or against. I don't have an opinion. You guys have your own gun control, but that is just stupidity. Like,
I'm sure went off on a jag about this.
I'm sure gun control advocates do not promote these kind of people, but like, how do you get a gun to just be like, hey, here's some warning shots. Oh no, Jerry, I shot you in the leg.
Last week we covered a story where some guy killed his 55-year-old stepson in an argument over a chili dog.
Like,
but he couldn't find his first gun because his wife had hidden it from him, so he went and got his second gun.
Like, again, right to bear arms. You're more than welcome to it. I'm sure you have an advocate. For those of you out there that are smart and responsible owners of firearms, I'm sure you do not condone this, but that is absurd.
That is
so
So I feel like it's probably not even necessary to say, but this occurred in Florida. Panama City, Florida. The couple arrived. The couple arrived at Elena's home around 1 a.m. And as we talked about last week, nothing good happens after midnight.
Ever.
If you're out of your house,
and
it's after midnight, nothing good is going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if your own house, that's fine. But they left their house to come bother her.
Yeah.
So they came over at 1 a.m., began to drink and make loud noises. She became tired of the loud guests and requested that they leave her house, and they didn't listen to her. Elena's boyfriend devised a plan for her to grab a gun and fire it into the ground.
Oh, he's Sherlock Holmes.
He's the puppet master.
Devised a plan.
Well, if they're in a house, there's no good place to shoot it into the ground, because you're either in an apartment and you have neighbors, or you're in a house and you have a concrete slab, and that bullet's just going to ricochet.
Bare minimum, you're going to have like like you said, dangerous ricochet, because you have to have. I wish everybody could see DJ Lunchbox's expression of just like, please.
This is kind of my perpetual expression
please,
these days.
Just don't even start with me in this.
Elena agreed to the idea and retrieved a .22 caliber handgun. She began to fire the gun, but instead of firing at the ground, she was aiming at the couple's feet. The two began to run out of the house, but the woman was struck twice in the leg. Elena mistakenly also shot her boyfriend, too.
What? Wait, what? She shot two people?
She went to point it at the ground, but I guess when she was bringing the gun up, she started firing, and it went off in her hand. She couldn't stop. She just kept, clicking the trigger.
Oh, my gosh.
So she shot her boyfriend accidentally as well. A statement by the police read that she knew she was wrong for shooting at the two, but she stated as soon as she started shooting, she couldn't stop. Elena disposed of the gun in the garbage can outside her house, where nobody would ever find it.
Again, I wish there was a video. I wish there was a video portion of radio, just like, because you have to see Lunchbox's face where he's just, okay, let's discuss this thing that just happened.
Next semester, I'm glad you said that, because I do want to make an effort to start making sure that I'm live streaming on Instagram or something for these, because it is fun to see us bobbing our heads and accidentally striking the microphones with our headphones. So
that is absurd. And like I said, there are those of you that are responsible firearm owners, but that is just why
stupid.
There has to be a dumb clause, like we know you're gonna be stupid with this. Like, not even dangerous.
There were a little checkbox.
Not even dangerous. Just you're gonna be dumb with this.
That would be great. On the firearm application, there's two checkboxes. I will be stupid. I will not be stupid. If you check the wrong box,
we know
instantly invalidates the whole rest of the application, and you don't get a gun. Make it simple. A 23-year-old mother was spotted on security cameras escaping a Kohl's store. Kohl's, the shopping center.
Okay.
While running from the store security, the mother abandoned her 7-year-old daughter after getting stuck in the sliding doors and ran off.
Wait. So the mother got stuck in the sliding doors and the daughter ran off?
Opposite.
Oh, the daughter got stuck in the sliding doors and her mother ran away?
The mother tried to run to the exit with her child, according to Lieutenant Miguel Gomez of Saginaw County Sheriff's Office. She had a 7-year-old child with her and was literally dragging the child through the store to get to the exit. When the mother got stuck in the first sliding door, she loosened her grip on the daughter's arm and ran off to escape loss prevention workers. Police stated instead of being a parent and stopping to check if her daughter was okay, she ran through the parking lot, got into a vehicle, and left. Staff...
Oh my God. Wait. So let me simplify this for my dumb mind. My own dumb mind.
You're just analytical, that's all.
So she... Do we know why she's running? Or have we not gotten to that part? Or do we know why she's running out of a Kohl's? Or is she just like... Did she steal something? Is she speeding out because she doesn't want, like... Is this like a Black Friday story? Or
they said loss prevention worker, so I'm assuming she was shoplifting or being suspected of shoplifting. But if you run, then you've probably been shoplifting.
I mean, regardless, though. So she runs, gets stuck in a sliding door, realizes, I got to cut my losses, throws her child into the Every woman for themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is unbelievable. It just becomes more and more absurd as it goes along. Like, I think it can't be topped, and it always becomes topped.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
That is unbelievable. Here, skirting off.
Staff had to stop the 7-year-old from running into traffic to catch up with her mother, who had escaped. The child was left abandoned at the store while the mother was being located by the police. Later, the 23-year-old sent her own mother to pick up her daughter. The 23-year-old sent her mother to pick up her daughter. So she sent the child's grandmother to go pick her up from Kohl's. The staff worker allowed the grandmother to take the girl home. Police stated the mother had a warrant for her arrest and is still on the run. Saginaw County Sheriff's Office are confident in her capture, as she is known to police officers due to having many run-ins with police before.
Oh my God. That kid has to be traumatized beyond belief.
In a way, I kind of hope so, because then that would indicate that this was probably the first time something like that's happened, but I have the feeling that this kid has seen some things. I don't think this is unique.
Unbelievable. That's unreal.
Actually, if you want to talk unreal, let's talk about this next story, because I had to check 4 different websites before I was sure that this was even real.
How?
A man dissolved after trying to bathe in the wrong hot spring in Yellowstone National Park.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Ooh, what a relief it is. Fast, fast, fast.
What?
A man dissolved. Colin Scott was visiting Yellowstone National Park with his sister, Sable Scott. The siblings were looking for hot springs to bathe or soak in, an act commonly known as hot potting in the soaking community. The act of hot potting is a practice forbidden by Yellowstone National Park, by the way.
Probably because the hot springs there are extremely dangerous.
Well, after a Freedom of Information Act request was submitted by... Oh, excuse me.
You're okay.
I'm so excited it's coming back up. FISA request was submitted by KULR. It was discovered from a report quoting the sister that Colin was reaching down to check the temperature of a hot spring when he slipped and fell into the pool. A search and rescue team was deployed to find him, and they were successful in locating his body in a pool alongside his wallet and flip-flops. But the team were unable to rescue him on that day due to lightning storms. The team returned the next day but found he had completely dissolved in the acidic pool. Deputy Chief Ranger Laurent Verres stated the waters were a churning, acidic mess, and in very short order there was a significant amount of dissolving. Now, I wish I had a camera for your face. Your eyebrows are just coming together in the middle of your forehead.
I mean, so PSA, for those that need it, don't go into the Yellowstone hot springs. They are extremely dangerous.
They're full of lime and sulfur, and they are boiling water.
Yes.
They're going to cook you. And then
you will turn into
you.
a human Alka-Seltzer tablet. That is unreal.
And see, that exactly. That is why I had to look it up to several different sites. I even tracked it down to CNN. Because the first site I read it on, I'm like, okay, this is... I don't really know the veracity of the site, but there's the site was more of a police blotter kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it could be real, but that just sounds like an X-Files episode. I have to so I started Googling all over the place to make sure.
That is unbelievable. He dissolved, is what you said.
He gone. He
dissolved.
He dissolved. He is no more. He has returned to the earth.
I can't. Sometimes I just cannot with these stories.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you made that little segue, because we cover a lot of interesting stories here on Breakfast of Imbeciles, and as you know, I am a student of the Griffin Radio broadcasting class. So we've been trying to drum up a little bit more interest for more students next semester, so we came up with a little advertisement for MCOM 119.
Fun.
Here at Griffin Radio, we're always looking for new voices to join these discussions, where we cover a wide range of topics that you, our valued listeners, want to hear. Away from me, Satan!
I can't look at you anymore.
The Uranus Examiner.
I can see DJ Supreme is going to jail for this.
Get off my lawn!
Shove so many in your mouth, they're all just gonna spill out of your mouth.
If I saw clowns inside or outside my home, they can have it.
You don't have to be a genius to know that that's a dumb idea.
I vomited instantly.
I'm not sure if I'm divorced or not.
I love it, man.
Take MCOM 119 next semester to join Griffin Radio, and you too can be a part of these dazzling conversations. So we just thought that would be something to help raise the profile of the station a little bit more, featuring so many of our students.
That is amazing. That is freaking real. That's so funny.
I got a couple of clips of you in there.
There were a couple, and they were fun.
Not even some of your best ones, just ones that I thought were funny.
That's so amazing. I mean, and obviously you can't say enough good things about Griffin Radio, but
absolutely not.
That is pretty much, honestly, the perfect example of what happens here. It's literally, do you have an idea? Do you have time to make it?
Okay,
sure.
Why not?
Sure.
And we never stop to ask, is it a good idea? We'll just worry about that after the fact.
We'll worry details, baby, details, you know?
Yeah.
And you have always had a ear for ads. They have always been amazing since your A semester. They have been Très magnifique.
Oh, you're making me blush under my headphones over here.
I mean, it's amazing.
It is almost 45. Are you
I got
okay to
time
stick
for
around?
one more.
Okay.
I got time for
Awesome.
one more, yeah.
Yeah, this one was a good one. A man has a standoff with the police after his wife takes a bite out of his grilled cheese sandwich.
Sandwiches are beautiful, sandwiches are fine. I like sandwiches, I eat them all the time.
Daniel Blackwell was having a meal with his family when his wife took a bite out of his grilled cheese sandwich, and that was when all hell broke loose.
Not the ultimate taboo. No.
An argument ensued between Daniel and his family. Then Daniel retreated to the basement, and his wife began making dinner when she heard a gunshot. She went to the basement to check on her husband and saw him surrounded with a number of guns and loads of ammunition. She fled from the basement as Daniel momentarily came out before retreating back into the basement and firing 3 more shots which came up through the kitchen floor. The wife ran out of the house along with their 3 teenagers. The Baltimore County Police were waiting outside as they were alerted by the first shot. Daniel remained in the house and had a 3-hour-long standoff with the police. Eventually, Daniel stepped out of the house and was subdued with pepper spray. Police seized 3 handguns and 12 long guns from the property, including a loaded long gun placed right by the front door where he was standing, waiting for his arrest. Daniel is not legally allowed to own any guns due to previous assault convictions. Paper drop.
And as he so elegantly, let's discuss.
There's really not much. That
I mean,
kind of wraps it up on its own.
I will say though that is what scares me about like this kind of has no
grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, well, this kind of has no relation to the topic, but there will be a connecting thread, like live streaming stuff. That presents a very dangerous thing because if I could watch that live streamed, just like the insane argument that somebody has over a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall for that?
I mean, exactly. To be a fly on the wall with I would get a lawn chair and a bucket of popcorn and watch these people have a legitimate argument. Not faking it, not like, oh, this is kind of like funny. No, this is a legitimate family issue that you took a single bite out of my sandwich.
Well, and okay, and I've said this again and again and again and
yes.
again and again.
Yes.
There are so many of these stories we find, which are just not even a scratch on the surface of available news to look up.
Yes.
And it's amazing to me how many of these stories we find that are recursive. Because we had a story a few weeks ago about a woman who attacked her roommates because one of them ate the last slice of pizza in the house. I mean, she flipped out and started clawing at him, jumped on his back and biting him.
Unbelievable.
So I would just be fascinated to see the 5 minutes before this happened, just visually. Was there like a lot of tension in the room? Was it just one of those houses where there's just a really bad juju
vibe
in the air?
all over the place?
Or was everything just sort of happy and they were just talking about stuff? How was your day? It was fine. And then she just, crunch, and he just
then the Kill Bill music plays.
Yes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Da, 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 da.
It just... Oh my God! So I just
that is pretty unbelievable.
Also,
though.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. The guy was able to find 15 guns when he wasn't actually allowed to have any guns. So
that is a lot. That is a high number.
He's got a guy. That's a high number for anyone to own guns,
let alone
now. Yeah,
somebody that shouldn't in the first place.
Totally shouldn't have. Do you want to do one more? Or you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Let's do one.
Because I could just keep stringing this
along,
along, just kind of keep you going until you're like, oh crap, and then you got to run.
Fine.
Oh man. 2 men have been arrested after they took a taxi to a burglary but didn't pay the driver, who then contacted the police.
Taxi, taxi, give me a ride. I'm gonna take you to the other side.
2 men were arrested when they didn't pay the taxi driver after they used him to aid their burglary. The taxi driver called the police, which led to their arrest. Thank God it wasn't an Uber, because you're not going to bounce back from a rating like that.
Good one. Good one, Lunchbox.
Kenneth Burke and Timothy Foote took a taxi to a home and told the taxi driver to wait for them as they left the car. The pair were seen walking toward the home and later returned to the vehicle. Okay, this is where it gets just so stupid.
Wait, what?
They told the driver to wait outside of a house, and they left, and then they came back later to the taxi carrying a television and several liquor bottles. Then they requested the taxi driver take them back to their apartment, and the taxi driver obliged. When they reached their destination, the two men did not pay the driver for his services. The taxi driver then contacted the Ashbury Police Department and reported the evasion of his fare and the suspicious activity of his customers. Police were contacted and the home burglary was confirmed. Foote and Burke were apprehended and the stolen goods were returned to the homeowner.
Wait, time out. Their names are Foote and Burke.
Yeah. It sounds like some kind of a Shakespearean characters, some
There's-
sort of little footpads.
There's no way. I'm sorry to segue from what the story's actually about, but his legal name is Foote.
Timothy Foote. F-O-O-T-E. Foote.
Okay, I thought his first name was just Foote.
No. Kenneth Burke and Timothy Foote.
Okay, I was like...
No. He's not like a...
My goodness.
He's not a henchman on the Ninja Turtles.
That's what I was going to say.
No. But these goons are like, you know what would be a good idea? We don't want to get our car. We don't want anybody to see our car, so we're going to take a taxi, a big freaking yellow car, and leave it running outside the house we're going to burgle, take the same car back. Now we have a witness, the driver, who watched us leave the car, take off for a few minutes, come back out of the house with TV and liquor.
Look, Foote, I've got the perfect plan.
We're not going to pay him.
We're going to take a taxi there so they can't follow our license plate number. Oh, my God. Burke, you're a genius. What?
I swear to God, these are the stupidest people I've read about recently. I don't even know where this was, and it just
legitimately upset.
wherever Ashbury is, Ashbury Park. But I swear to God. I don't know how big the TV is for one thing.
Man.
I don't know if it was like a little Magnavox teeny thing or if it's like a big flat screen or something. But find a way to just disguise it.
Yeah. Well, in the taxi driver's defense, like, if they didn't look shady, I would have been like, oh, okay, they're having me like just drop them off so that they can pick up their TV and some liquor from like their friend's place or something. You know, like I can't say what they are or are not doing. Like, they could just be like, oh, my buddy called me up to pick up his TV, because if you're going to burgle a whole house, the only thing you take is a TV and a couple bottles of liquor. You're not going to take like radios.
But at the same time,
like,
you got to think, if you've been in the
cell phones,
the transportation industry for some time,
that's true.
you're going to start
That's
to get a pretty
very,
good
very
radar for suspicious behavior.
That's very true.
And I'm guessing when they left the house, they weren't exactly in kind of sauntering away. They were kind of running from the house.
They had to be, yeah.
And
that is insane.
I mean, there's a lot of facts I could sort of infer here, like they probably told him to leave the headlights off or something. But I mean, that's just stupid. Don't stiff the person that you've paid to hire for your getaway.
I will never steal something, but assuming I did, I'd at least pay the taxi driver that took me to the robbery.
Well, because you don't want to raise suspicions. That was exactly one of the reasons. They said that the taxi driver called the police because they stiffed him and for their suspicious behavior.
For the third time, I wish we had cameras, because Justin is legitimately upset right now.
It's stupidity bothers me. It's not
like actually bothered at how dumb.
I was going to say, it's not that the burglary that bothers me, but yes, I should say that. The burglary does bother me, but it's the stupidity. And it wasn't like it was a spur-of-the-moment burglary. It wasn't like they were walking past the house and saw the front door hanging open. They were like, hey, you know what would be a good idea? Let's get a taxi, and we'll go over to Carol's house, rip her off, and drive back, and nobody be the white. They planned this out, and that's the best they could come up with. I think I need to put a lithium tablet under my tongue or something, because I'm starting to... I'm going to splash some water behind my knees.
Oh, man. Oh, what a great way to end it. I gotta go, but that is amazing.
Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to head out here, too, because I want to make some time for LaTanya to get in here and get ready for her show afterwards, because we're going to do her show, which is called What's Going On, which is also here on Griffin Radio every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. And she does all kinds of really interesting interviews. She talked to a woman who's a student here from Ukraine, who's a big kind of business deal.
Oh, that's interesting.
Back there, but she decided she really wanted to follow her passion of writing.
Oh, wow.
So she's in the media communications program here with us, and
That
so
is-
she interviewed her.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, so she talks to a lot of really cool people. So I think with that, we are going to schlep the heck on out of here. So thank you so much for coming by, everybody.
So fun.
Once again, this
as
has been
always.
Breakfast. Yeah, thank you for coming by, B. Millie. It's been too long.
Of course.
Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on Griffin Radio. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook at Griffin Radio 119. Our Instagram account is Griffin Radio SD. And you can listen to us on the Griffin Radio channel on the TuneIn app for your Android and iPhone. Don't forget to shoot me an email over at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com. I appreciate your comments and concerns. I have been your questionable host, DJ Lunchbox, here joined with
DJ V. Millie, that is me.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week on Tuesday for my special guest host.
So excited.